Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Oner Podcast, the podcast where we break down and review films all in one big, long, unbroken take. I'm Austin Archer, and with me, as always, is my childhood next-door neighbor and lifelong best friend,
Kramer, England.
And we grew up watching WWF and
Yeah.
WCW, SmackDown,
WCW, SmackDown, like the
Nitro.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday Night Nitro or whatever.
We grew up with Can You Smell
Yeah.
What the Rock is cooking?
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold. Yeah. Yeah.
Who was your favorite guy?
Goldberg.
Oh yeah, dude.
There because I think The Rock was WWF at the
Right.
time.
Right.
And then but Goldberg was WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the one that we would always watch was the WCW.
We liked WCW more.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That had the Hulkster. That had Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
That had Sting. That
Yeah.
had, the NWO versus the WCW. I just felt like the WCW had more and had Goldberg.
Yeah.
And we did love Gold. It had Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah, with Karl Malone.
Yeah, dude, DDP and the
DDP.
Mailman.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. Doing the DDP stunner or whatever it was.
Yeah, the diamond. What was it? It was the diamond.
He would do
the
this
diamond
and,
crusher, or
he'd break it on your face, which is just like the worst move.
Diamond breaker. What? I don't even remember.
Let me smack
Diamond
you
cutter.
like this.
Yeah.
It's like at least Goldberg. It's like the spear looked like that would hurt.
Yeah.
If you got or the power bomb. What was the Rock's move? Was it rock bottom? Was it rock?
Something like that? I don't know what his signature move was.
The people's elbow.
The people's elbow. That's right. Yeah,
the people's elbow.
Because Goldberg was the jackhammer.
Yeah.
And dude, we would talk oh man.
Yeah.
Wrestling. He has made a career for himself.
I mean, of all the guys, because a lot of these guys did try to go and be in the movies. The Hulkster, when he was in his prime, made that movie, like the nanny one, where he was he was Hulk Hogan, but he was somebody's nanny. It's a genre of films. Vin Diesel did it with The Pacifier.
Yeah,
and there's I'm surprised that Dwayne Johnson hasn't been somebody's nanny in a movie.
Well, he was the Tooth Fairy.
But of all the I guess John Cena and Dwayne Johnson are probably doing the best. You could throw Dave Bautista in there.
Bautista, yeah, I would say those three, and they all have some pretty good acting chops. I think John Cena's a little bit more likable than a good actor. I'm not saying he's not a good actor, but he's they've all done pretty well. And made it to the mainstream.
Who do you think's the best actor of those three guys? Bautista, Dwayne Johnson, and Cena.
You got to play them all in the right part, because there's a lot of movies where The Rock is just not very good.
Well, that's what we found out with The Smashing Machine, right? Is there are some actors who are usually just not that great, but with the right role, all of a sudden you're like, okay.
I was amazed the entire time. I was like, this is a good role for him.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's dramatic roles where it's like an action or something, it just, I don't know. I just can't really buy it. All the welcome, the Jumanji movies with him and Kevin Hart just have something, and it's really, really funny. And they have a chemistry that's really good. Yeah. And when he's in kind of the comedic roles, he does really, really well. And I just enjoy watching him in those. But then some of his serious ones, I just don't get it. But this one, I was like, wow, he actually did a very, very good job.
Yeah, we are talking about The Smashing Machine, Benny Safdie's new movie that is in theaters right now, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. Go out and see it if you haven't already. Spoiler-free thoughts here initially. As you can hear, all the buzz is Dwayne Johnson really that good in this movie? So that's what we're starting out talking about. I'm just going to ask you in the spoiler-free section, because this isn't a spoiler. Is Dwayne Johnson going to win an Oscar?
I don't know if he'll win. I think he should get nominated. I think he really put a lot into this role, and you see it. And I think he created a really, really interesting character.
Mhm.
And he did it. It's also just like I think it's even more apparent because of how some of his roles haven't been as good. So it's like, wow, he's really kind of come out of his shell and he's really done it. So it makes it look really good.
Mhm.
But I do think he should get nominated. I don't know if he's going to win though. But I don't know. What did you think?
I don't think he'll win, but I think a nomination is pretty much unavoidable.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
there's any chance he's not nominated for both the Golden Globe and the Oscar. Maybe
yeah.
he wins like the SAG award or something,
Maybe.
or
Yeah,
or like maybe he even wins the Golden Globe. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But I I highly doubt Dwayne Johnson takes home Best Actor, but also like the Oscars these days seem to fold into their consideration
yeah,
uh movie stardom and career awards, but I think, in my opinion, like this is the first actually good performance I've ever seen from Dwayne Johnson.
yes,
In my mind, Dwayne Johnson is just like a bankable movie star,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
he has a kind of tone that he does reasonably well enough that it's not horrible to look at. But the
yeah.
real reason why you put him in your movies is because he's just a presence.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He's just a force.
yeah,
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day.
yeah.
When we were growing up, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't thought of as a good actor. He
No.
was good enough that it didn't like ruin the movie to watch him, but mostly he was just a physical force. He was
Yes.
just on screen, he was just like, "Geez, look at that
Yeah.
guy."
He had charisma. He had the screen presence,
Mhm.
and The Rock has that screen presence for sure.
And what this role reminds me of for Dwayne Johnson is how like a better comp than Schwarzenegger is Stallone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Stallone's another one of those guys who just he was competing with Schwarzenegger in the 80s and 90s over who was going to be the top
Mhm.
action hero, the top movie star. And for the most part, Stallone and our whole everyone like these are two guys who like everyone loves to impersonate, right? It's
Yeah,
a
yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
doing this thing,
Uh,
are you doing
Adrian,
this thing, you're doing this, you're and
get to the
it's
chopper.
yeah, and it's like these
Yeah, yeah,
two guys, these
yeah,
voices. But like Stallone's the one because I don't know that there is like uh I guess maybe like the Terminator and specifically T2. I would say
yeah, yeah,
maybe T2 is Arnold Schwarzenegger's best on-screen performance in
yeah.
anything because he's not
Yeah.
even really that great in Terminator if you actually go back and watch that movie. Like he's not
No.
he's just sort of the physical force, but in the second one there's actually like
Yeah.
something to the way that Cameron captures
Yeah.
his
He,
attempts at connecting with John Connor and
yeah.
that are really endearing. But like Stallone has an entire career that has this one character that every time he came back to it, everyone was like, "Yeah, you're kind of a good actor when you do that." And it's
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah.
It's just like
Exactly.
whenever
You're
he was Rocky Balboa, we'd be like, You're kind of good."
Yeah, you're blown away by his acting chops when he does that, and he has some other roles that are good. But yeah, it's weird every time. It's like, yeah, wow, you play that. How do you play that character so well?
Because you could even say Rambo, but it's like I think First Blood is a really solid performance from
Mhm.
Stallone, and then that series kind of gets off track really quickly. But if you go through the Rocky movies, his like arc that he takes that character on over
Yeah.
like a 40-year
Mhm.
journey is and like the movie he was nominated for was Creed, where he plays
Yes.
Adonis Creed's
Yeah.
trainer, and I remember watching him in that movie, going like, dude. This is this is your career best work, like
Oh yeah.
hands
Yeah.
down. And he didn't win, but I think
No.
it's a very similar comp here to what Dwayne Johnson's doing, where it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I think so. From what I understand, this is all rumor, so take this with a huge grain of salt. But from what I understand, I don't think Stallone in Hollywood is liked the most. Not that he is a horrible person, but I think some people don't. He rubs people the wrong way in some instances, right?
I'm sure he's got
So
an ego.
yes, and I think that worked against him because I heard someone's like, "I'm not going to give Stallone an Oscar,"
Yeah.
like that was kind of a thing. So that probably hurt him, unfortunately. With The Rock, the thing that he has going for him is that everybody seems to love him. He seems to have really good work ethic. I'm sure he has an ego, but he seems to get things done. He works hard. as far as I know, which is not very much, it seems like he's well liked in the industry, right? So
And at least in the Fast series, I think people like him more
yeah,
than they like Vin Diesel.
yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got that going for him. The thing that he has against him is sometimes, I mean, this movie again has bombed. This movie is not. It opened at like 6 million or 5, 7, something like that. It's his lowest opening of all time, which is unfortunate. And sometimes that does go into it like, well, he did a great performance, but the movie nobody saw it. So, but I think honestly, I think he'll get nominated for sure, and we'll see.
Okay, so let's talk about still in general thoughts, still no spoilers. Everybody,
Yeah, yeah,
you're still safe. But let's talk about our general thoughts on the movie now. We've talked about his
yeah,
performance a little bit. I mean, one of the other storylines here is like, is Benny Safdie? Does he have the sauce without his brother, without Josh? They split up. Josh is. I mean, just for this year, it's not like they're
yeah,
like.
yeah,
I don't think there's any stories that there's like bad blood between
yeah,
the
yeah.
Safdie brothers.
Yeah,
Just Josh is making a movie called Marty Supreme that is coming
yeah,
out with Timothy Chalamet. I think
mhm,
next month,
yeah,
and Benny has the Smashing Machine, and they're both sports. I think
yeah.
biopics. I'm not sure if Marty Supreme is based on a real guy.
I think he is.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
So they're but they're just it's ping pong and UFC fighting, and MMA fighting. But I like I to me, this movie is there's a lot of people talking about how it doesn't have the same feel as like a Safdie brothers film. What we've come to expect from movies like Good Time and Uncut Gems, which are these sort of adrenaline rides. They're sort of these like pulse pounding the entire movie. You feel anxious the entire movie. The movie never lets you go. You're on the edge of your seat the
Right.
entire time. And and I heard people say that before I went and saw it, so I wasn't expecting like a pulse pounding crazy adrenaline ride.
Right.
I personally, I don't know how you felt, but I really liked how Benny Safdie's approach to this. I liked that it felt tonally different from
Yeah.
Uncut Gems and from Good Time, but it still had the same like style. It still had like I heard somebody say that this movie is much more jazzy than those movies, and
Mm.
I
Yeah, I can
really
see that.
like that description that this movie felt kind of smooth and jazzy. I
Yeah.
felt like Benny Safdie here felt really confident about what he was doing, and that's
Yeah.
that same way we were talking about PTA, how in the earlier films there's a much poppier, fast-paced editing style and shooting style, and then
Yeah.
in these later films like There Will Be Blood and The Master, everything sort of slows down and he takes his time with things and he doesn't feel like he needs to be as
Yeah.
uh in your face about the style. I felt that from Benny Safdie here, that it felt like he really trusted the script that he had and trusted his actors and just sort of let moments breathe in a
Yeah.
way. But maybe where that hurts the film, in my opinion, is that I can't see myself wanting to rush to go rewatch this movie right
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
because it does feel sometimes a little maybe meandering or
Yep.
aimless.
Yeah.
There's a structure that's definitely being built up to that we definitely feel in the third act of like
Yep.
this conflict between him and his friend that might happen,
Yeah.
and him struggling with his own personal demons. Mark Kerr, the character,
Mhm.
but in between, in the middle of that, I this is a double edged sword for me because I kind of liked that Benny Safdie, and that I can't remember who wrote the script, but that
He did.
oh he did okay good. That I liked that he didn't lean into genre tropes because this
Yeah.
is a genre that is it's has well-worn formulaic tropes, and I like that he presented a film that to me felt more realistic. My
Yeah.
best comp that I could think of in the theater was David O. Russell's movie The Fighter,
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah.
that's I'm a sucker for fighting movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I grew up on the Rocky movies. I love Million Dollar Baby,
Mhm.
Clint Eastwood's movie,
Oh, yeah.
and
Love that one.
I love David O. Russell's movie The Fighter, but The Fighter's a movie that to me has like an energy that feels grounded and realistic, and
Yeah.
it feels less like a Hollywoodized version of this story and more like what it's like in real life. And this movie felt like even more so
Yeah.
that style, and
Yeah.
everything just felt really real. I felt like the fight scenes were done really well, and
Yeah.
it just felt like people were actually hitting each other in the face
Yeah.
really hard, and it felt brutal and kind of like almost tough to watch sometimes. And uh overall, I enjoyed the
Yeah.
film, but what were your general thoughts?
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. The fight scenes were great because they were filmed outside the ring.
Mhm.
There's never any shots inside the ring when they're fighting, and it's a much more observational feel to it, which does make it feel much more real. And I do appreciate that he kind of subverts the tropes of this genre. But there is a training montage, which I thought was not the best.
Yeah. Uh,
But I was because I was kind of like, why are you doing this? Like, this is a. It didn't feel like it fit, and it was also kind of boring. But
yeah.
that I mean, that aside, I kind of knew what to expect. I had watched a review before, and it was just kind of saying like, this is not a sports movie, really. It's kind of like it's much slower. It's much it's paced very differently, and it's not falling into these tropes. So I knew what to expect, and I really did enjoy it too. I thought The Rock was amazing. I thought Emily Blunt was amazing. Um, I do have some problems with it though as well. I felt like there were a couple times it got a little too melodramatic. Um, I also think that um, that I'm trying to remember. There was something else, but it overall was really good. Oh yeah, it felt I could kind of feel the budget a little bit. It didn't have as big of a scope as I thought it was going to. It just kind of felt like we were really only in like three places. And I know
Sure.
that there's more than that, but it just kind of felt like, okay, I'm not feeling like we're in this room a lot, and it feels very I kind of felt the budget of that, which is fine. It didn't make the movie bad, but it was just something that I noticed. But again, overall, I really liked it. And I think people should see it. I think more people should see it for sure.
I get what you're saying about feeling the budget a little bit,
Yeah.
but I also think that that's just sort of like a Benny Safdie thing. Like I think
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has the shooting style that feels like him making a movie with his friends, kind
Yes.
of like
Yes.
everything's very handheld from I was honestly watching the movie going, I don't know if there's a single shot in this entire movie that's on sticks locked off. Like it feels
Yeah. Yeah.
100% handheld. It feels, but in that way, I also feel like there's this grounded, gritty realness that to it. There is an aspect, speaking of like him and Emily Blunt, and the fact that this is more of a kind of human drama. And again, like it's interesting because like I like sports movies. I love sports movies, but the sports that I like to watch in real life the most are football, then basketball, then I don't know. I don't even know what's next. Like, but
Yeah, yeah.
like fighting is I don't like watching boxing in real life. I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
watching, but I love movies wise, fighting movies I love. There's something
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the drama of
Oh,
fight
yeah.
and there's something about like those training montages of like how are you going to get yourself back and be
Yeah,
ready
yeah,
for
yeah.
like it's always, part of it, and I love when they can find a wrinkle to it. So there's a lot that this movie just for my personal taste just worked for me. But I will say that yeah, there's an aspect of and we'll talk about this once we get into spoilers. There's an aspect of his relationship with Emily Blunt's character, several aspects actually, that I felt I like I think could be potentially controversial for some audience members.
I could see that. Yep.
And there's like some questions that I have about
Yeah.
how Benny Safdie got certain details and who he talked to and how certain details were verified because they're presented in a way that I don't necessarily dislike, but it depends on like who the storyteller is that could make it
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about, and I think we will get into it. One other thing I do wanna say with, Benny's shooting style, I really did love the look and the feel of this. He shot most of this on 16 millimeter film. And some parts in 70 millimeter, like IMAX, which is cool. I didn't see it on IMAX screen, but I liked the overall look that he chose. Everything about this movie is very intentional, which is good. Just like you were talking about, like this is a director who knows what he wants to do and is doing it, whether you like it or not. And I overall liked it. I like the confidence that he did bring to it, but I also appreciate that like the movie doesn't look very good intentionally, which is why I think it looks good. Like the 16 millimeter film is lower quality, than 35 millimeter, which if you're shooting on film, that's what people usually shoot on.
When
So I
that's
like that aspect of it.
That's why my comp was, The Fighter, because I feel like The Fighter has that same kind
Right.
of feel to it,
Yep.
where it's just
Yeah.
sort of it's less polished than, say, a
Yeah.
movie like Cinderella Man
Yeah.
or even Million Dollar Baby, which I really like. Those movies that feel like they're very cinematic in their,
Yep.
presentation. But yeah, I like that, so
Yeah. Yeah.